Hey, what's up, you guys? JD Two Sons Toys here. Today we're going to be looking at NECA's Ultimate Chucky. This Chucky is specifically from the Bride of Chucky, which, although isn't the best Chucky movie, it's probably the most funny. I feel like Child's Play came from being, like a straight on like horror movie. Yes, there were some funny elements, and I think the funny elements of Chucky just kept getting, increasingly more and more funny until, you get the Bride of Chucky, and the Bride of Chucky is, basically a horror comedy. It not only is it probably the funniest Chucky movie, but you get introduced to the Bride of Chucky herself, Tiffany.
Eat your heart out.
Alright, let's open this toy up and see what he's made of.
Tray shot.
For such a little guy, there is a lot of detail in this figure. This is probably like an under 3-inch figure. It's really small. Or, big. It's average. It's average.
It ain't the size that counts. It's what you do with it.
No, for such a small, actually small figure, Ultimates are usually, bigger. You got Jason, you got Michael Myers, you got, Leatherface. These are big guys. These are big characters. But for such a small figure, they really did pack a lot of detail in. And, just from the faces, like the different expressions he has, the weapons I'm sure are going to be really nice, and the different hands, and the amulet with the actual chain on it seems pretty cool. Something I also just noticed is that this head sculpt right here is different than these two head sculpts. This one has different scarring on its face, and it has longer hair and a middle part. It's making me think that this figure can also be used for the sequel of this movie, The Seed of Chucky. And the other reason I think that is because this figure comes with an axe, and Chucky does not use an axe in this movie, but he does use an axe in The Seed of Chucky. So that's actually, it doesn't say anything about that on the box, but that's actually really cool that that they gave you essentially, another figure from a different movie. They gave you the Seed of Chucky head and the Seed of Chucky weapon. So that's pretty cool. That's honestly really good. Let's actually get our hands on this guy. There you go. We got to cut this guy free. Okay, this is the NECA Ultimate Chucky from the Bride of Chucky, but also, as we found out, the Seed of Chucky. So like I was saying before, this guy has tons and tons of detail for such a small figure. Let's look at the articulation. The funny thing to me is that, Chucky's a doll. Chucky is a doll and a toy, and he doesn't have that much articulation because they don't use CGI for Chucky. They use a puppet with practical effects, and for the range that they use in the actual movies, I think this figure can do pretty much everything that he can do in the movies. You can move him however you want to, and get what he's like in the movie. For the character and for this figure, the articulation seems really good. Look at the detail on this. You got the blood stains, you got the clothes being ripped, you got more underneath the injuries, the wounds. The detail on this face is, pretty incredible. The wound all around to the eye right there looks pretty gnarly. That's awesome. You got the stapled hair. You got the stapled hair onto the side of his head. This is a really good figure so far. Alright, let's look at these alternate heads that he comes with. Got an open mouth face. Chucky's he's a jokester, and he likes to have fun when he does his thing, and he's laughing a lot. Chucky's got one of the most iconic laughs in horror. Iconic Brad Dourif Chucky laugh. And you can have him, open mouth laughing maniacally, or you can have him grinning menacingly. Then you got the alternate head where it looks like it's from the seat of Chucky. You can actually really tell the difference holding them up close. All right, let's see how easy it is to take on and off these heads. That was pretty easy. Let's make this Chucky laugh. And the head was pretty easy to put on. Get the same sort of articulation you got from the other one. And you know, these are the versions of Chucky that I like the best, is when he's actually, you know, being like a complete asshole and making the craziest jokes at the craziest times, while, you know, he's probably most likely killing somebody. But Chucky is one of the funniest horror icons out there. Let's actually see how this guy stands. Yeah, he stands pretty well. I mean, you know, with every figure you have to move him around a little bit, get the weight distribution good. But, you know, this figure stands really well. All right, so let's take a look at these accessories that this Chucky comes with. You get the classic kitchen butcher knife that Chucky always uses.
A true classic. Never goes out of style.
And then you have a handgun. Looks like it's Glock clock, I think. And then here's the axe that he comes with. Not in the movie, but is in the seat of Chucky. So that's really cool. You can use this figure to get two figures out of it. You get the Bride of Chucky, and then you get the seat of Chucky. Look how detailed this amulet is. I mean, for such a small accessory, there is a lot of detail. It actually says stuff on the back of the amulet. It is it's what they say to get the soul transfer.
Awake!
Ade Due Dambala Awake. Wow, that's actually really cool. Imagine he just runs across. I'm like, fuck. No. That'd be hilarious. No, but this is really cool. I love the accessories that it comes with. Now let's take a look at the 3 hands that this figure comes with. He comes with 2 open hands. A hand to hold, you know, one of the weapons. Another hand to hold one of the weapons. And the right hand to hold one of the weapons. Okay, so they gave you 2 of the same hands, I believe. I want to say these are the exact same hand. No, they look exactly the same. So you get 2 left hands. Not really that much range. This gun is pretty big compared to his hands. Don't think he can actually hold it unless these hands are super able to, you know, open well. Let's see. They're not that flexible, so I really don't want to break it. Let's consult the box. With this picture, it looks like he's holding the gun pretty well. I mean, let's stop being, you know, a little bitch about it, and let's try to hopefully not break this figure. Okay, I was able to slip the gun into this hand. It is a really tight fit. Like, I don't know how, you know, strong these hands are, but you had to kind of like force that in there. I don't want to take it off because then it's going to be hard to put back on, so I'm going to try to put this hand onto the figure. Easy to take off. Okay, it's on. You know, simple enough. Such a big accessory for the size of the size of him. Let's see how the other accessories hold up. Right, so we got Chucky's classic knife in one hand and the heart of the Mbala in the other hand. And honestly, that's a really, it looks really cool with the accessories in hand. Just wrap the chain around Chucky's hand and then, you know, just had that in place. So honestly, that honestly looks pretty freaking cool. All right, I was able to put the axe in both of his hands, and I was able to switch out the head for the Seed of Chucky head. So you basically have a a figure from a different movie. This would be the Seed of Chucky version of Chucky. I'm a little underwhelmed by the hands. I mean, you get two of the same hand. This was so hard to put on, so this is gonna stay, a gun hand, and I'm just gonna switch out the whole hand if I ever need to. I really wish they would have given you, something else. One of my favorite scenes from The Bride of Chucky is when Chucky's crawling outside and he flips off the stoner, and the stoner goes, "Rude fucking doll."
Rude fucking doll.
like that's like one of the best scenes from the movie. I wish they would have gave me, Chucky, giving the bird to somebody, a hand flipping somebody off. All right, so this is it. This is everything you get from the NECA's Ultimate Chucky from Bride of Chucky. This is a really good figure. I would suggest, if you are a fan of Chucky or you're a fan of Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky, that you go out, you look for this, you pick this up, because it's a really fun figure to mess around with, to pose. So that's gonna be it. Thank you very much for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, what's your favorite Chucky movie? There's a lot to choose from. Some are really good, and some are really bad. But Chucky is such an iconic character. He's always fun to watch. So once again, thank you very much, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Rude fucking doll.